Hey everybody, welcome to Stas and Shane Talk Real Estate. This is our six-part series on six amendments that are on the Florida general election ballot for November 3rd of 2020.
This is session 6. We've definitely put a lot of information into the first 5 sessions. You can check out all 5 below if you guys are just jumping in on session 6. Just before we get started, though, we want to put out that disclaimer that this is our show, our opinions. We are not here to persuade you to vote either way. We just had a great conversation earlier today and said, man, we've really got to look at these 6 amendments that are on the ballot. And it'd probably be great to educate everybody else what is on the ballot and just give you a little bit of information so that way you could make a good choice on which way you're going to vote come November 3rd. So I'm going to jump in on Amendment 6. This amendment would transfer homestead property tax discounts for veterans with permanent combat-related disabilities to their surviving spouse. The discount would remain in effect until the spouse either remarries, dies, or sells or disposes of the property. Currently, that discount expires after the veteran's death. So Shane let me handle this one because he knows that I'm a veteran and this is dear to my heart.
And thank you for your service.
Pleasure to serve. So I'm going to say yes. Now, you're going to have some people that feel like, well, the veteran should have the discount. If he goes, it should go. I can understand some people's opinion on that, but look at it from this perspective. How many family members, we call them Blue Star members, how many of them what have they endured while their veteran was out at war serving their country? They had to raise families. They were worried. They were sending letters, care packages, while the veteran was away. I mean, they were pretty much at war as well. I mean, they were stressed. They had to still maintain a household without their significant other. There's a lot going on there, man. They are just as important as the vets, man. They're the backbone for support for our veterans. I know when I served and I was away, I wasn't married at the time, but my mom, I would write letters to her that, I hope I'm doing you proud. And, getting a letter back from her or my grandmother or my cousins, my sister, family, was inspiring. It's just like, man, I can't wait to get back home. And, they were worried about us. Think about it as a spouse. I wasn't in a position, again, being married, but, as a spouse, man, they endure a lot. They have to hold the fort down. And so for me, I think that the discount should carry over to them. And I think it's fair, if the spouse remarries, dies, or sells the property, then, then it expires. So, yeah, I'm going to say yes to that.
I completely agree. And everyone, again, these are our opinions on how we feel, and it's not how we're trying to tell you to vote. But I unfortunately didn't serve. Not a regret in my life, but I kind of wish I would have, because I have lots of friends that have, and family that has. I didn't do it, and it's everyone's choice. But at the end of the day, you give up so much just to serve. I mean, and not only people that come out fine, there's a lot of people that have come out disabled and lost their life and do anything. I mean, there's a lot of people, service members that are in their house that may have lost a spouse serving. And to me, when you start looking at the financial side of this, it doesn't make sense to take away a $50,000 or $25,000 discount on taxes. You're talking a minimum amount of money. And I think as a country, we should be supporting our veterans, not only this way, but there's many other things we should be doing. And I'm a yes on this too as well, because this is why we are America. We're a free country because of our people that have served to keep us that way, to have fought to make us a free country. And this is just one of those things that makes total sense all around, emotionally, financially. As a good people, we keep this for them because it's something they need to enjoy. I mean, a home is a home. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. I've moved a veteran into a home and seen their face. This is something they worked for. And this was someone that was younger, and they wanted that house, and they're still in that house to this day. I mean, so I think that's to honor them, to give them that ability to be able to keep this.
Another thing too, you're talking about some of these combat related disabilities, man. You know, it's hard for people to put themselves in that position because it's unthinkable, you know. But let's go ahead and put ourselves in that position. The vet comes home, lost a limb or something, or is going through, you know, a lot of stress. They're having a hard time sleeping. You know, that spouse is dealing with that. So they dealt with the veteran being away, but you know, now the vet's home, and that person, they may not have came back the same person that they were when they left. You know, that person, that spouse is married to almost a different person sometimes. And again, if you have combat related disabilities, you know, you've lost limbs. I mean, they obviously don't look like the person that came back. And so they may be in a wheelchair now. They may have to do extensive rehab. You know, their memory might not be like it used to be. I mean, there's so many different things that the loving spouse will have to deal with that vet when the vet returns. So I don't necessarily think that their job has ended. You know, they had the stress of them being away, and now the stress of trying to take care of them now. And of course, this isn't all the examples out there, but I don't know. We can go on and on. I can give you examples of what they go through. So it's an easy yes for me.
You know, at the end of the day, it's to support. It's support the people that have supported us and protected us. I mean, and this is important. This is just important.
Yeah.
So, guys, remember, this is a 6-part series. You can click down below to see the first 5. This is our opinion and nothing else. We just want to have a discussion about the 6 amendments on the Florida ballot in November 3rd, 2020. Please get out and vote. Get out there, take the time, do early voting, mail-in voting, in-person voting. I'm personally an in-person voting guy. I like to go to that thing, put that ballot in there and see it go in. That's just my own personal preference, be it in early voting or my normal primary, but I love going to my normal primary vote. If you can, I know a lot of people are asking for help in the voting in the election centers because you know, if you have time volunteer-wise, please try to get out and volunteer, try to help.
Yeah.
You know, again, please reach in, give us a like. This is something we just thought we had to talk about. We wanted to get out before the election. We'll have a few other things that we'll talk about in the next week or so as well.
Before we go, though, I do want to say you have options when it comes to voting. You know, with what we're dealing with in these times, I totally understand people's decision not to go in person. If you can go in person and you feel secure with going in person, in my opinion, I think that's always the best way to go. I do know that if you want to get a mail-in ballot, you can go ahead and request one, have it sent to you, fill it out, and then you can go ahead and drop it off yourself instead of mailing it. I know a lot of people are a little nervous with mailing it in. But, you know, we do have those options. And then you have the early voting time that's opening up. So, you know, there's going to be less people there. If that makes you feel a little bit better, you know, where you can still social distance, you can wear your mask. You know, the early voting is opening up. So go ahead and, if you can, maybe get out there instead of, I know in some parts of the country, people are waiting in lines to vote, and that's scary for some. Totally get it, but man, your voice needs to be heard. Please make sure you're registered to vote and get out there and vote.
Yeah, and remember, every vote counts. Please do it. Thanks for joining Stas and Shane Talk Real Estate. We will see you guys soon. Hope you guys have a wonderful day.